The following is a presentation of the Midwest Motorsports broadcast team, consisting of Midwest Motorsports Mr. Everything, Josh Watt, broadcast producer and race control. On the comms and cams for the oval side, it's the man with the golden microphone, Michael Harris Jr.
We're here. We're all here ready to go. Pace car is in. Green flag waves from the stand.
And for the road side, it's me and Adam.
I am Adam Sondag. You're stuck with me.
And I'm James J., the voice of Midwest Motorsports, where signups are always open and always free. Friday nights are for the Truck Series, Sunday nights for the Stock Car Series, and Tuesday nights, the Road Series takes the track. Don't forget to like the video on the way in. Go to midwest-motorsports.com today. Okay, DW, take it away.
Let's go racing, boys!
And I approve of this message.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Midwest Motorsports Friday Night Truck Series action here at Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. I am your host, Michael Harris Jr., driving the number 40 Toyota Tundra for the penultimate time this season. I said I wasn't going to do this anymore and just might as well keep going on it. Pole sitter today is number 51 from the land down under, Ian Silva, driving for Heinz. I think he's got the Heinz Chevrolet. Puts it on the pole ahead of our Truck Series champion, Dustin Reinsettle. He is a 100-point lead over second place. There's not really any way unless we pile in 40-plus drivers and all sorts of shenanigans for Dustin to miss out here. Eric Thaler back in action as well. So we got Ian Silva on pole, Dustin Reinsettle second, myself in third, Eric Thaler fourth, Norm Snyder starting it in fifth. At the top, practice time in that Ram, number 28. Then you got Riley Harris, George Harris, Marco Lavery, Robert Lavery, and Kevin Brown. Rounding out the top 10. 11th is James Olavison, Robert Olavison in 12th, and Ron Schaumer rounding out the field in 13th place. 13 trucks have come to Fontana this weekend, as we've got double headers these final 2 weeks of the season. Trucks and stock cars both showing up at Auto Club this weekend, and next weekend will be Nashville Super Speedway. And here we go. Green flag underway as Ian Silva leads the Truck Series back to start-finish line. Dustin Reinsettle still right there on the outside. Eric Thaler has passed by that number 40 truck on the outside as well. We'll see how these trucks handle through the whole course of the race. Riley Harris moving on the outside here, as is that number 23 of Marco Lavery. Dustin Reinsettel has put the nose out ahead of Ian Silva here as we go working through our first lap. Eric Thaler right hard on the rear in that number 15 Ford F-150. He's going on the inside here. Ian Silva will not get the lap led after setting pole. It'll be Dustin Reinsettel getting the first lap as Eric Thaler continues to try to battle on the inside of him here through turns 1 and 2. That 40 truck qualified up in third has dropped all the way back now to 6th place, almost losing 7th to Norm Snyder. 84 laps they'll drive through the Southern California Speedway, no longer in operation in real life due to some choices made by the parent organization NASCAR to sell quite a bit of the real estate to warehouse developers like Amazon. 3 wide action there for just a split second, as now we've got Robert Lavery in that number 33 Dodge making a move. Kevin Brown moving up as well, as Harris falling back in that number 40 Toyota. Close action there as they were 3 wide coming out of turn 4. We've got another lap down here. 3 laps complete. Eric Thaler up front. Ian Silva back up front now as he gets his lap led. Was missing that at the beginning of the race. Tires probably going to be important here at Auto Club Speedway, as like I said earlier, 84 laps in this event. 3 laps complete here. We're looking at fuel cycles around lap 21. With only 2 sets of Goodyears waiting for them. We'll see how this goes. Most likely it'll be just the 2 sets of tires in the next 2 stops, as they'll try to make it through. My brain's trying to do the math right now, and that's a scary proposition for many. A lot of competition here early on, as everyone pretty well side by side throughout the racing surface. Riley Harris running the top line already. Get a lot of momentum on the front straightaway doing that. 5 laps in the books now. A lot of trucks have been shuffling around. Dustin Reinsettel has snuck way back here. Eric Thaler getting doored by the 33. A lot of stuff going on. Riley Harris riding that high line to the lead here. Pretty sure that's Riley up there. Marco on the inside here. Has anyone really stuck to leading for very many consecutive laps? I don't think so. Riley's got the lead. 3 wide action a little bit further back with Eric Thaler on the outside, Dustin Reinsettel inside, and Harris Jr. on the in the middle, with George Harris Jr. also trying. We got a 3 wide action going into turn 3. Now Dustin's in the middle. That 40 truck all the way to the bottom. The 87 all the way on the top there. The 15 truck was riding high. Momentum's going to carry that 87 to be side by side. Dustin Reinsettel back to 10th place, as Ian Silva regains the lead. Kevin Brown making his move towards the front of the pack. He gets around Riley and Marco Lavery. The 87's making a move here as well, trying to pass that 15. So everybody getting a lot of action here early on. We got some tire savings going on with that 11 and 15, I'm guessing. Definitely interesting strategy here. Ian Silva hasn't taken off like everyone expected him to do. Harris trying to make the big pass way down low on the inside, making it a twofer, but not gonna do it. George Harris skates away with all the momentum from the outside line. Eric Thaler also making some advances there. Riley still back on top, but that 13 truck of Kevin Brown keeping Ian Silva honest. Everybody just still trying to figure out this track. What line's the best one to run? Where's a lot of the action and the passing going to come? And where's that tire saving going to come in? Quite a few guys already running the high line. Still quite a few drivers sticking to the low line, and smaller handful just in that midsection. Ian Silva continuing to hold this lead. He is at least holding on to it, where it was quite a battle between several drivers early on. I think we've had at least 5 different leaders lead a lap here at this race. One driver we were expecting to roll off and run away here, Dustin Reinsettle, just chilling in the back. Currently sitting in 10th place. It's not the worst place to be when everybody else in front of you is burning their tires. Got ourselves a gaggle going on here. James Olavison on the outside of Marco Lavery here on the back straightaway. George Harris makes it 3 wide through 1 and 2. Eric Thaler now has Mike Harris Jr. on the outside. It's funny when you got George Harris Jr. and Mike Harris Jr. It looks like some bump drafting going on. That 87 riding up, blocking the number 40 from making any further gain. Down the back straightaway, Riley Harris riding the high line. Looks like Mike Harris might be joining him up there. Through turns 3 and 4. George touches the wall coming out of 4. Ian Silva continues to lead, but it's still a rather slender lead. That 40 truck just made a pretty decent move through 1 and 2 there. Gets himself next to Robert Lavery in that 33. Ian Silva with the lead there. Kevin Brown in second, still in that 13. Riley Harris in third in that 49 Coach Zero Chevrolet. James Olavison trying to make a move under Riley here. The battle for third, and there's Mike Harris Jr. moving up. He's in 5th place after being back towards 10th early on. "13 laps are in the books now." Whoa! 49 into the wall. That 40 truck almost joined him and doored him into the wall even further. Ian Silva starting to get away from the pack. That last lap, he had a 0.7 of a second lead over Kevin Brown. Harris Jr. trying to put nose underneath James Olavison. Eric Thaler now making his moves up as he gets around Riley Harris going down the front straightaway, taking fifth. Then number 40 all the way down to the first lane, going underneath James Olavison. 3 wide coming down the front back straightaway. Kevin Brown on the outside, in the middle, James Olavison in that number 90. The number 40 Toyota Tundra. Still trying to hold that inside line. Eric Thaler going to take some advantage here. He's going to try to move. Will he take the high line? Oh boy. Number 40 in between the apron and the regular road. He's going to get moved backwards. Ian Silva hoping to hold now as Eric has moved up into second place, trying to make that gain. James Olavison up there. He was in second, now in third. He's got the momentum on the high line. Pit cycle's about to get underway here. Eric Thaler sliding up. Slide job here at California. He's going to make the move, gets completely in charge of second. Ian Silva hugging that low line there through 1 and 2. Mike Harris Jr. is trying to get around James Olavison, who is also going to go down on the low line. Can't make it stick through 3 and 4. Harris is going to make an attempt here to cross over on the inside. He had a good run, couldn't put it together there. Ian Silva has continued to lead here as we complete 19 laps out of 84. He's been able to dominate in a different sense, so just continuing to keep the lead here. He hasn't run away with the lead like we've seen with Dustin and Eric and other tracks. But speaking of those two, Eric Thaler finds himself in second place right now. Dustin Reinsettle back in fourth place, or fifth place, able to move up another spot from seventh. It's been an exciting race here today for sure. At the start, everybody duking it out. We had several lead changes so far. Look forward to seeing what happens through pit cycles. We'll see what the pit strategy is here. Ian Silva and Eric Thaler are coming on down pit lane. James Olavison, Mike Harris, and Dustin Reinsettle with Robert Lavery all staying out. Forty this time. James Olavison way up to the high line here. Slowed down quite a bit compared to that 40 truck. Dustin sneaking underneath Mike Harris Jr. Coming on down pit lane here. James Olavison, he's going to make the he's going to continue to hold that lead. See what how this pit strategy will work. Whole field is now currently in. Ian Silva leading the charge. Actually, it's Eric Thaler leading the charge. We'll see who leads back to the green flag here as pit cycles have come to an end. Eric Thaler will take the lead, and he is currently battling with Ian Silva. Dustin Reinsettle finds himself into third place. Big moves from that pit cycle there. Marco Lavery putting down the fastest lap time of the race just then at 40.9 with Riley Harris at a 40.916. Looks like the leaders took no tires, just fuel-only stops that time by. While most of the rest of the field took tires. "25 laps have been complete. Eric Thaler still continues to hold the lead over Ian Silva. They are almost 2 seconds ahead of Dustin Reinsettle. George Harris sitting there in fourth place while his son Riley continues to hold on to fifth. There is a pretty good-sized battle for fourth right now. Third, not that far ahead. Marco Lavery and Riley Harris continuing to duke it out here. Very much so. Battles everywhere on the racetrack right now. Dustin side by side with Riley Harris. And that pack is starting to close in on our race leaders. Dustin backing off like he had earlier, but remember, pretty sure he took no tires. double stint his first, while everybody else is going to have to remember they've got a double stint a set of tires somewhere to make the full 84. Marco Lavery has shot up to second place now as he's battling with Eric Thaler for the lead. Oh my goodness, the whole front has shifted greatly. George Harris now leading this race, the number 87 Dano Chevrolet out front with his son Riley Harris in second place. Eric Thaler back in third. They continue to duke here. Eric now side by side with Marco. So Marco's going to take third away from Eric Thaler. Ian Silva in between, though. He'll be listed at 5th place. And that number 40 Toyota Tundra is caught up to the back of this field as well. He's on the high side of Dustin, making the pass. Newer tires definitely doing that for him. Riley Harris staying way on the high side here through turns 3 and 4. It's going to be hard to get around for Marco. He's going to make the attempt here. George continues to lead. Number 40 snuck to the side of the 51, using the high line, gets around that Chevrolet from down under. The Aussie Ryan Newman. You could tell the skill here as these guys that I'm going around right now still putting some good laps in despite having old tires. When I pit that last time, my tires on the right front were 80. 80 for the right front, 92 for the right rear. Not so bad for those. Riley's starting to lose a little ground here on his father. George Harris Jr. starting to get a little bit of a breakaway. Marco Lavery still sitting there back in third, trying to find something, anything that he can do to get around that number 49. They're running the high line just so well right now that it's just kind of made it a one-line track. The only way to get around is either a bold move or getting one of those two off the top line. And they're going to go down low all the way to the bottom. Mark another lap down for George Harris. 34 laps complete. 50 to go here at Auto Club Speedway. As that number 87 taking some turns behind the wheel in the lead. Marco Lavery on the inside here of Riley Harris. As they go into turn 3 and 4, they're side by side. They're going to run out of real estate coming out here. And when you shorten what the inside line can do, it really does not give anybody any advantage. Marco having to stick back in third. hoping for a better run through turns 1 and 2 to make up a good passing opportunity on the other end of the track. The Harrises have kind of all stuck to the high line now as they rumble through 3 and 4. Marco trying to poke the nose underneath that number 49, not going to have enough momentum. That 40 truck getting closer and closer to their rear view mirror. Plenty of time left in this race, so it's not a big deal if it passes by now. Robert Lavery moved him up to 5th place as Eric Taylor, Ian Silva, and Dustin Reinstedt will continue to drop in the order. But again, they've got 2 fresh set of tires waiting for them, so these guys really need to get going, get a move on. That number 40 machine putting it low on Marco Lavery down the back straightaway. He's going to try to do the same on that 49 Chevrolet. That Coke Zero Chevrolet holding, still holding on the rear quarter panel. George Harris watching as another battle unfolds behind him as that number 40 truck has slid his way into 2nd place. Just ahead of Riley. Now Riley's got Marco trying to do the same thing coming out of turns 1 and 2. Riley unable to make anything work there. 3 and 4. And he's going to get passed by Marco now. George pit on lap 21. Well, Michael just behind pit on lap 22. .8 seconds is now the gap as George trying to run that low line right now, seeing if he can get away from that number 40. Getting close to the halfway point here. As we hit lap 42, almost halfway. The lead now down to about a second. George continues to hold on, though. Now we're halfway through. Eric and Dustin coming down pit lane together here on lap 42. this time. 40 this time. Robert Lavery staying out. He will get the lap. Mike Harris just beat out George out of pit lane. Can he hold the lead, though? Well, he won't be able to, as James Olivison has charged far ahead. James is pitting this time, though. Robert Lavery getting ready to come on out of pit lane. George 1.3 seconds behind Harris Jr., Mike Harris Jr. Gotta remember that we're both Harris Jr.'s here. And the broadcaster is leading the race. Whoever had this on their bingo card, I don't know what you're talking about. But the number 40, Texas Roadhouse Toyota Tundra, is your race leader. Question is how long can he hold on to this lead? As a lot of other trucks behind him took tires, especially those trucks of Dustin Reinstedel, Ian Silva, and Eric Thaler. James Olivison, or I'm sorry, not James Olivison, Robert Olivison looking to get a lap back here. Dustin Reinstedel now moves up to third place, 3 seconds behind the race leader. He took tires last time around. Gonna make some big gains here. He's coming right on up to George Harris. They'll battle for second place. James Olivison, second back from our leader, going to lead this charge. Here comes Dustin Reinstedel on the inside through turn 1 and 2. Side by side. They go down the back straightaway. That number 40 looks like he's trying a side draft, Dustin. But that 11 truck, 4 fresh tires, just too much. He will take the lead here on lap 49. Will lead lap 49. 35 laps to go. Well, for Dustin Reinsettle, thankfully, Ian Silva, his next competitor who has fresh tires, sitting back in 4th place, 4 or 5 seconds behind Dustin Reinsettle. Dustin currently setting sail back up there. Ian Silva has moved himself up to 3rd place now as he goes to chase down the number 40. Dustin Reinsettle makes his way around Robert Olivison, with James Olivison still left to put back down a lap. "51 varieties." That 51 machine getting around. Actually, 57 varieties. So the advantage for the strategy that Dustin and Ian and Eric are running right now is that they're going to have fresh tires to finish the race with those 2 sets as they double stint, while the rest of the field is going to struggle this time around. Dustin could take it a little bit easy, see if he could fuel save a little bit. Every little extra counts. Eric Thaler somehow finds himself back in 12th place. Most likely a speeding penalty or some penalty to do with his pit box. Not going well for him here. He's got one long distance to climb as he's currently rated in 12th place. He's on the back bumper of that number 40 machine. And he's going to go on the inside here. Cross right in front. Mike Harris, just the speed differential between these guys. Mike Harris put down a 43.1 that time by. Meanwhile, Dustin Reinsettle, a 41.753. So almost a whole 2 seconds faster a lap. Though Harris did just put down a 42.998. Ian Silva, 2.8 seconds back of Dustin Reinsettle now, as he finally gets around Robert Olivison. Eric Thaler hoping to catch up to that number 22. That'll be a pass for position for 11th place. Ian Silva also pit on lap 44, so he has 2 lap fresher tires than Dustin Ryan-Settle. "57 laps in the books, folks. 27 to go. NASCAR's plan, of course, for this racetrack in the future is, well, they said they want to bring another short track race out here. Whether that's going to actually happen or not remains to be seen. In the meantime, San Diego, down further south, they're getting a street course race at the Naval Complex. "60 laps down, 24 to go. Dustin Ryan-Settle with a 3-second lead over Ian Silva. The final pit window coming ever closer. Now, we haven't talked much about the lead today, which is a bit surprising, but that's how much action we've had for the most part of this race. Still battles going up and down the field here, as we still have drivers within a second or so of each other. But we currently have 2 of our racing series active this week, with tonight, Friday night, Friday Night Truck Series that starts at 9:55 Eastern Standard Time. You also have the Sunday Night Stock Car Series. Green flag drops at 8:25 Eastern Standard Time. Ian Silva now in the lead as Dustin goes to pit. Should be able to make it on a full tank of gas from this point. 40 this time, 40 this time. Right now we got Ian Silva still leading as he's elected to stay out. Dustin Reinsettle is currently back out on the racetrack. Ron Schaumer, only listed as second place. Ian Silva should be coming in this time. Which means that Dustin Reinsettle will resume the lead at some point shortly. Maybe. See, he's going around turn 3 and 4 now. Dustin will take over the lead here as Ian Silva unable to get out of pit lane fast enough. The battle for the last podium spot is livening up, though, as George Harris within a second of Michael Harris. Ian Silva back on the track going through turn 2 now. Or turns 3 and 4 on his outlap. .7 seconds is what separates Mike Harris Jr. from Ian Silva. George Harris really trying to make that inside line work here. Gonna try to use the whole track as he's catching up. Within half a second. Dustin Reinstedel still with a commanding 10-second lead. George is catching up. Does he have the time? We're on lap 71, 70 complete, 14 to go. The 87 truck is turning in a little bit quicker. And that 40 going through turn 3 and 4 there. 1/10 of a second separates the two. Podium spot on the line. Who wants it more? George trying to pick up that draft. Michael trying to avoid it. And he's going to break pattern here, going way down onto near the apron. Tries to use Robert a bit as a pick there. George slides up the racetrack. 0.2 of a second now is the gap. Eric Thaler battling with Ian Silva. What could have been for that number 15. With a bit of a block there, stayed a lane high. George not able to make use of the momentum going into turn 3 and 4. 10 laps to go. That 40 truck all the way down into the corner. George trying to get that momentum back. He's making the move here through 3 and 4. Will it stick as he is on the inside line? Mike Harris Jr. holding on to third. Into 1 and 2. However, George almost cleared him through the corner. He was able to slingshot out of that turn. George slides way up the racetrack. Trying to use as much ground as he can, loses a bit of time there on Mike. Ian Silva, 8 seconds behind Dustin. Fortunate day for Kevin Brown, though, as that number 13 machine just having technical difficulties. I'm sure he was really hoping there for a good race today. Just wasn't going to work out. George is trying everything, going on the apron through the front stretch. Trying to get any advantage he can over that number 40. He's going to try to make a pass here through 1 and 2 again. He has to back off. That truck was going right into the 40. Time's running out. 5 to go at the stripe. The 40 truck trying to avoid smashing that wall too hard. Coming out of turn 4. 0.4 of a second separate those two now. George really hoping to make something work here, and it's just, you can't make it happen. 4 laps to go. And he's got to see if he can find 1 more ounce of effort in that 87 truck. Or does the 40 make the mistake? Dustin Ryan settle with an 8.1 second lead. Coming to the 2 to go here. Two laps to go as Dustin passes the start-finish line. Don't look now, but Norm Snyder has snuck in to the top 5. He had the fastest practice time. The white flag has already waved. Dustin down the back straightaway. No one in sight. On the lead lap, that is. He's got Riley Harris right in front of him. Mike Harris Jr., the inside line there through turns 1 and 2. And the checkered flag waves. Dustin with another win. Ian Silva in second, Mike Harris Jr. third, fourth will be George Harris, fifth, Norm Snyder, sixth, we're looking at Robert Lavery, Marco Lavery seventh, Ron Schamer eighth, Riley Harris ninth, James Olavison in 10th, followed by Eric Thaler in 11th, Robert Olavison in 12th, and Kevin Brown back in 13th. That was a lot of fun. To me, there, that almost block was, I think, the key there. I'm sure Dustin will have more fun with it. Well, this is the second time this has happened that I've been on the podium here, but we're going to go see if we can dig up Ian Silva. By the way, I forgot to mention all the fun. So Tuesday nights, we would typically have a Road Series race. Road Series Season 11 ended 2 weeks ago. So we unfortunately do not have that for you coming up. However, if you are interested in joining up for Season 12, signups are always available for all our series, free, and anybody can join. Just go to our website, which is in the description down below, midwest-motorsports.com. Again, that's midwest-motorsports.com. Tuesday night series was starting at 7:30 Eastern when the green flag dropped. I'm not seeing Ian there, but I'll just let you know that that is voiced by our fantabulous, amazing crew of Adam Sondag and James, the legend himself, the voice of Midwest Motorsports, James J. Um, One thing I didn't mention before we bring Dustin Reinsettle up here to interview, I mean, maybe I'll bring Eric up here or somebody else too, but I just want to let you guys know as well. Keep your calendars open for May 23rd. If I have that down in my notebook right, May 23rd. Yes, Saturday, May 23rd, we're going to have an Indy 500 right here. It's the third annual Indy 500 for the Midwest Motorsports. Race will start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Practice starts at 6. 6:55 is our qualifying time. It is open to anybody that has already joined up with our league. So, for those of you that are out there who are interested, that haven't signed up for our league and any of the other fun ventures, as well as racing with us, you feel free to join us anytime at that link. It'll take you to all the information you need with Discord, the iRacing pages, so you could sign up. Again, signups are always open and free. And without further ado, let's bring up Dustin, and I'll bring up Eric too. Because they did a great job grilling me last time we did this. Since I finished third, I guess we could start with me.
Okay, Michael. How was your race?
I was not expecting to be here at the end. I mean, when I first signed up, I thought, oh, maybe I have a shot at this. Then I saw Dustin, I saw you and Ian, and I go, huh, okay.
And any sort of pit strategy you ran tonight that maybe set you up for this?
Well, admittedly, I felt like I made a mistake after the first pit stop. I had taken tires the first time around, noticed the three of you did not take tires, and went, oh boy, I better get a haul on here to have any hope of anything. Because they're going to just fly by me through the second stint, and we didn't get far enough ahead. I was able to keep ahead of ahead of George through most of that, so that set me up to at least finish fourth. I'm assuming some pit strategy stuff happened to you that allowed me to be up there in third.
Yeah, the cops got me exiting. Got a little speeding
Ugh.
penalty. and it wound up being a hole for 15. So that really set me back even further. But yeah, I mean, you look to be pretty consistent on your second stint of worn tires. I'm looking at your lap times right now. I mean, you stayed in the 42 fours, 42 fives. Um, it's I mean, that's not terrible. You know,
No, that's kind of about what you guys were running on yours. That's when I noticed. I would go, oh, they did not take tires because they're already running 42s. Either that or they're laying back pretty fierce.
yeah. Well, Dustin will tell you what he did. The you got some 43s towards the end, but I mean, the beginning you were just running consistent lap times like you were, before you pitted. So looks like you did a great job there to set you up. How close was it there with Harris at the end? It sounded like he was putting the heat on you a little bit.
He was for the first like 10 laps or so. He was just we were keeping at the about a second apart from each other, and then he just found some extra speed. He was making some better corner entries and exits, especially in 3 and 4. He pretty much was side by side with me. Had the nose, just couldn't clear me, and because I had the outside line at that point still, and um, he went to make another lunge through 3 and 4, which he would have gotten past me, but I stayed in the second lane, kind of blocking him, blocking his air, blocking him there, and I think he may have backed out just a tad. And after that, he pretty much burned out his tires compared to mine, so I just
Yeah,
set sail after that.
it's definitely a thing here trying to get past people. On those last few laps of worn tires, you get them hot, and you're still trying to gain speed, and sometimes you can overdrive it just a little bit trying to get around guys, and it does get some heat in the tires. So you did a really good job maintaining, and way to stick it on the podium in P3, man.
Well, thank you very much, Eric. Glad glad you're able to come back here and make it 2 races in a row.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, well, that's your third
Thanks
place
what happened,
finisher,
but
ladies and gentlemen. That's number 40, Michael Harris Jr. in the Texas Roadhouse truck.
unfortunately, Ian is not available for comment at this point. We tried reaching out to his hauler, and well, it's a long flight back to Aussie land. So, without further ado, unless he pops in here by miracle, Dustin, you got a copy,
I got you loud and clear.
and you guys had an interesting strategy at the beginning. I saw you guys just getting closer and closer to me as towards the back of the field. So I figured you guys were tire saving. Auto Club doesn't seem to eat tires. Is that something that you noticed?
It does. It definitely does on exit. If you overdrive entry, your exit suffers in the long run. So that's pretty big. That's honestly, I laid back the first run saving tire and trying to save an extra lap of fuel just to give myself some options here towards the end because I knew it would be right on the line. Um, but I actually oversaved. So when I realized I was oversaving through the last like 5 laps of that first run, I just started going, and I was pretty much just it was like I had fresh tires compared to everybody else, just because of they drive it in and you can't get off the corner. You got to wait so long to get back in the gas. So it does. It may not affect the lap time as much because you can just move up a groove or two. But as far as affecting like the line that you have the ability to take, it definitely affects being able to exit low.
Hmm. Absolutely. And now during that last pit cycle there, or last couple of pit cycles, I know that you guys were still kind of mixed. You guys actually were pretty close for the most part. That last pit cycle definitely put you well out in the lead. Wish we got to talk to Ian here today, but you talk about your competitor there who put it on pole and how he impacted your race.
Yeah, no, Ian is always fast. We can always count on him to put down a fast lap and try to go for the pole for sure. So same thing. He's usually really quick in the run. And then sometimes it might be a little hit or miss depending on where we're at on the tire saving. But he's always fast. So I was kind of judging. Honestly, he took off, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna watch Eric because I had a feeling that Eric was also gonna back off a little bit. And then here goes me and Eric just falling through the pack like a big rock. So I knew I was at least on the right sort of strategy when I watched Eric start doing it too. But no, I pitted with Eric and we come out. We would have cycled out a couple of seconds ahead of him, and that's where I cycled out to. And I honestly I don't know that he had the bad play. I think going long wasn't a bad idea. I think he might have been a little slow on entry and exit. Because in theory you would think it would help a little bit to have some fresher tires. Because he was running me down at the start of really 2/3 through the run, both the runs that I was in front of him. I was watching it really close, but he kind of fell off the last like 5 or 6 laps, and that's when we would run even. So as long as I could kind of keep that gap for the first 15, it seemed like we didn't really run any different lap times after that.
That's awesome to hear you had some competition there, and the fact that he's getting you to think a little bit through the race.
I would have loved to have seen Eric not speed. That would have been good.
That would have been good too.
Yeah, we would have had some good racing there.
Yeah,
coming
it
out.
probably would have been like me at New Hampshire. I probably just followed Eric around all the time. No, but I will say it caught me off guard a little bit. The aero blocking here is really difficult because you really don't feel it until you get back in the gas on the exit, and then you just get really tight, and it kind of just noses you straight towards the wall. I had a couple of times where I had to lift big time tonight, getting around lap traffic and all that. But everybody raced really clean tonight. It was really fun. I love this place. Love Michigan. Probably my 2 favorite big tracks as far as that goes. The draft didn't seem as impactful tonight. I don't know if that makes sense. Usually it feels like the pack stays together forever here in the past, and this time it seemed like it kind of broke up pretty good once we got through like 10 or 12 laps.
Yeah.
So it was a little different tonight than what it has been in the past. I really am interested to know whatever they did in the package for Oval about 4 seasons ago. It doesn't seem like the lane ever moves up to the top in the trucks anymore, unless we're somewhere like Darlington or something like that, where it kind of has to. I really expected the top lane to help tonight, but I just basically ran the bottom and then started arcing it to the bottom. I never really ran 2 or 3 lanes up tonight at all.
Interesting, because I noticed a lot of us ended up going up top, but you're right. I mean, you and Ian just kind of took off there, and you were on the inside line, so.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying about the exit. So once the tires wore for you guys, when you're going around the top, you're basically just taking a longer line than us, and we're getting off the bottom so much easier if we've got good tires. So that's why I chose that, just because it seemed like, obviously at first, like for example, James was running really good. He was the first car or last car on the lead lap, and I was basically just running right behind him in the draft the whole time for probably 15 laps. And then he started running high as his tires started wearing, and once I was able to just keep going underneath of him, it was just a matter of like 3 or 4 laps before I got around him.
Absolutely. And any other thoughts or anything else? So you're pretty much the Truck Series champ at this point, coming into this race with 100 points over second place.
No, just excited. I think I said it last week. This is, in my opinion, it's the hardest one to win. Mostly because usually we have the big field, so this year we got some recruiting to do to restock everybody. But it was nice to see, 13 or so guys out tonight, and hopefully we can get it back to that 20, 25 number that we usually have in this series, because that's what makes it. I think this is the hardest series to win, just because the trucks are, for the most part at most tracks it seems like they're wide open until the tires wear. So it's there's a lot of people in play. If they can they can keep the tires under it. So super fun. Excited to get another league championship. Always love those. I can't remember how many it is. I have to look, but regardless, I just enjoy racing in this league and hanging out with everybody and going back and watching the commentary from you while you're out there driving with us. So appreciate everything you do. Shout out to James. Hope James is doing good and all of our other Midwest admin.
Awesome. Well, there was your race
Oh,
winner
and
there.
I met Larry the cable guy today at the golf course. So shout out Larry. Get her done.
Nice. Famous people in the wild. That was your race winner, Dustin Ryan, still there? And we finally found him from all the way from the land down under. Ian Silva. You got a copy?
Yeah, I've got loud and clear.
All right, awesome. Well, Ian, it was great to have you back on the track here. It was great seeing you actually get back into the league here, and you brought that number 51 truck right into the podium here on your first time back. Got a pole to go with it, and talk about your race, man. How did it go for you?
Yeah, it was an interesting one really because I've had a bit of a break from iRacing. I think I last sort of turned the wheel in about November, um, and then yeah, just life got in the way, and I've had a really long break. It was meant to be just sort of over Christmas and maybe January, and here we are now, almost nearly in June, I suppose. And yeah, I haven't really turned the wheel, so I sort of been craving getting back into it, and I did an official race with the Super Formula Lights last week just to make sure everything still worked on the rig, and it did. And so I thought, yeah, I think I want to get back into a league, and so obviously I rejoined here, and it's good to be back. I did miss it, and but because I hadn't really done any practice or anything, the half an hour practice before qualifying was literally the first time around Auto Club for what, a year plus, whatever it was, especially in the truck. So yeah, finding my sort of my feet again was pretty tricky. But I did sort of, as Dustin alluded to, it's pretty much just a one groove track around here. So I did sort of midway through, I thought I might move up a couple of lanes and see if there was any extra speed, but I just couldn't seem to do anything, and so I ended up dropping back down and basically doing the uh, same way around the whole time. You know, just easing off and into one and three and finding the white line and then powering out of it, sort of thing. So yeah, I didn't even do any maths in regard to the pit strategy either. So as I was coming into to pit the first time, I'd realised that I don't think we've got enough tyres here, so I'm going to have to double stint this. So I didn't really plan that either. So I came out and I realised it wasn't long after that Dustin caught up to me, and he was sort of sitting behind me, and I knew he had more pace than that, and he was just sitting there, and I thought, yeah, I think I've made a mistake here. So when I pitted the second and third time, obviously I had fresh tyres, but yeah, I was too far behind by that point, and I think on the final stop, I think I don't know who it was, someone came out of their pit stop, so I had to sort of ease off a little bit to let them through, and yeah, that cost me more time. So really, I was just racing for second at that point, but all in all, I'm pretty happy with the race considering I haven't raced for so long.
Well, yeah, absolutely. With the fact that you were able to put that in second place and you were able to have pretty decent pace definitely says a lot about your driving style, even though you haven't raced in about a year here at the Truck Series. So it's great to have you back. And I hear Super Formula Lights, what you tested out there. So you're going to be sticking on over, or coming on over on the 23rd to do some Indy 500 action, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it all depends on my work schedule and things like that. But yeah, otherwise I'll definitely be in. I think I did it. If it wasn't last year, I think it was the year before. I did it and I had a lot of fun. I think I came second there as well. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely I'll be in. If I'm free, I'm in.
Sounds good. And anything else you wanted to add? Anybody that surprised you tonight? Anybody you want to shout out today?
No, not really. I think it was nice just to see some familiar faces on the track and know that I can have some wheel to wheel racing with them, and you know it was going to be clean, which is always good. I've sympathies to Eric because I think Eric was perhaps a little bit quicker than me today as well, but obviously he had that speeding penalty, so that sort of ruined his race. But yeah, no, otherwise, look, shout out. I'm going to give a shout out to everyone, all the familiar names.
Alrighty, well, There's your second place finisher, Ian Silva. Thank you for joining us up here, and look forward to seeing you. Or you signed up to do stock car as well, or just the trucks?
No, just the trucks. No, the stock cars is Monday for me, so I'm working hard when you guys are racing.
Or I was going to say we're hardly working, but anyway. All right. Well, Ian, we will see you. Well, I guess that'll be Saturday for you at that point. We'll see you next week at Nashville.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Michael. Have a good night.
You as well. All right, everybody. Well, for the broadcast team up here in the booth, the admin crew as well, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and watching. My name is Mike Harris Jr. Tune in for us next time on Sunday night, 8:25 Eastern Standard Time for the Stock Car Series coming right up here to the hills, or to the hills, to the hallowed ground of Fontana as they go to see who's going to win here at Auto Club Speedway before we head back to the Truck Series at Nashville Super Speedway. Make sure you stay in your lane and make sure you live life in the fast lane.